Day 4 of the 14th International Forum of the Convention of Independent Financial Advisors in Monte Carlo, Monaco. While the main theme of the forum is excessive regulation, the sub-theme of this final day centered on the future of the financial services industry. Panelists discuss how to define and structure the focus of the advisory process.
We are under the pressure of changing regulation environment. Remuneration schemes are different. Clients are expecting much more transparent approach to fees, commissions, and we as financial advisory world should create the real value for the client to be ready to the situation we observe in Holland, in the UK, where the full disclosure of fees completely destroyed the market, and that was a completely new approach from this perspective. My feeling is that the value creation is the most important thing, the real in dollar terms, and actually technology, how to build the profile of the client and how to monetize the profile of the client, verifying different products of different providers.
We are concerned when we see the unintended consequences that's happening in the UK, where the industry have gone from hundreds of thousands to just tens of thousands of advisors. We're seeing what's happening in Australia and in the United States with the introduction of the fiduciary rule. So I believe Canada has taken a careful approach, a measured approach, one that's based on, let's first see how disclosure and transparency work. And if through disclosure and transparency it's not effective, or it creates pockets within the marketplace that are blind spots, then we would have to look at a measure that will address those issues. So we think at this point in time, we have not yet banned commissions. We're looking at it. We're going from the hidden fees, let's say, in managed products and trying to make it more explicit so that even with managed products, clients know that they're paying a fee for that advice. And then the client can measure value now based on this disclosure, this transparency, and transparency in a way that it's monetized in dollars and cents, because not everyone is an expert on percentages.
Pensions and their structures consumed a healthy portion of the late morning. The three pillars of the pension system received a great deal of scrutiny by speakers and panelists alike, from contract law to specific retirement products, and an attempt to pinpoint who bears the most responsibility for retirement planning, the government or the individual.
The three people involved are the government on one side, the IFA on the other side, and the individual on the final side. Basically, we can only do with a legal system, and the legal system is going to put brackets around what you can do, what you can't do, and what the government thinks is good for you. Within that framework, the IFA is going to try to sort out the best solutions for the client, who finally will decide where he wants to be and which tools he wants to use for his own retirement. So the buck is really on the objectives that the client can identify and that the government is going to frame and that the IFA is going to channel.
The main point is that for the advisors to keep in mind that pensions it's a scary topic. People hate to think about it. When they think about it, they want to put it past them as quickly as possible. And that is the role of the advisor, to help the clients face through the question, look through the options, and decide what they want to do. Another thing that is important, I think, is that the pension outcome will depend very much on what people do at the start, how much they contribute, how long they keep contributing. It will be based on the investment, and it will also be based on the exit options. And all these are elements that advisors should be discussing with the clients.
The responsibility, I suppose, ideally should be with governments, but reality is state schemes, pay-as-you-go schemes, are not sustainable. So more and more responsibility has to transfer to employers and employees, and individuals if they're not an employee. And I think it's going to be more and more that way, even with the so-called Pillar 2, where the employer is sponsoring a scheme. Historically, those have been defined benefits, so you're going to end up with a percentage of your final salary. Again, those aren't sustainable. So more and more we're going to define contribution schemes, and also when you go into personal pensions. And so therefore the risk-taking is going to the individual, and the responsibility equally is going to the individual, and it'll be more so as time goes on.
The conversation carried many topics on this final day, but forum participants kept returning to the overarching theme of excessive regulation. With a growing number of globally mobile clients and regulation growing at an even faster rate, forum participants examined the ways for advisors to navigate all the red tape.
So from a practical point of view, I would recommend advisors to get involved into the already decision procedures very early, to follow, to monitor the outcoming of the regulation, and then to use proactively the time of the implementation period instead of waiting till the last day and then be suddenly surprised that, oh, tomorrow I have to be compliant with the new regulation.
More regulation actually creates more regulation, because in the end you have to harmonize what's been done before and so on and so on. So advisor has really difficult life in that, because they have to keep updated with what's going on, and especially as the countries then the national legislations implement and transpose the European legislation, then that changes as well. I think professional bodies like associations, they certainly help them understand. They sometimes sort of try and shorten or pick up the essentials, the most important things from the current legislation, and actually present it to their members, so they can easier deal with what's going on.
The ever-present issue of fraud was also highlighted during the forum. With new rules and regulations being crafted to combat fraud, attendees were updated on some of the pitfalls of adding on to the already extensive amount of regulation.
Some of the regulation is needed, like the anti-money laundering regulation. So we have to do that, and all Europe is enforcing, this new regulation in a few months' time. So some of them are good, some of them are less good, I say. But one thing they don't face before is the cost of regulation, because this cost is given to the people and the company who are in front of the money, banks, insurance, financial planners, lawyers, notaries, and so on and so forth. But these people, if they want to implement these rules and these regulation, so they have to face the cost, and they have no financial counterparts in it. So that's why. Well, lots of them don't do it and wait to be prosecuted for that, and then the fines are very heavy.
With the 4 days now concluded, there's a consensus that the CIFA International Forum gets more informative every year. If you would like to review our in-depth coverage of the entire forum, you'll find all the links to our social media channels and videos on our website at cifango.org. That's cifango.org. Reporting from the 14th International Forum of the Convention of Independent Financial Advisors in Monte Carlo, Monaco, I'm Mike Mazzacco.